Hi everyone, welcome back. So I'm about ready to start my first project for the hop, but the first thing I did was changed my whole perspective, my whole idea of what I was going to do. I was going to do Love is in the Air, and I was going to do vintage because, you know, I know that pretty well. I know I have a lot of stuff for that, and I figured that would probably be fairly easy to do. Well, then I started reading all you guys' comments about doing the steampunk and the metal and all that kind of stuff. And initially I kind of wanted to do the metal, but I was a little intimidated by it because of the fact that, you know, we have to have a new project each week, and, you know, it takes time for stuff to dry, and, you know, I didn't know if I had that many things that are steampunk, and I just, you know, had a bunch of reasons not to do it. But the more I read you guys' comments, the more you encouraged me and made me feel like I should challenge myself and step outside the box. So I decided to do Metal in Love, I think it's called. So I am going to do the steampunk. Sorry, I had to get a drink of water. So the first project we're to do is to repurpose a hardcover book. So I got this one actually when we went recycling at the school that I work at, and this was put in the recycling. It's just a book of letters that administrators can use for different reasons, but it's got really nice well, I can't really show you right now because I got it wrapped up ready to go, but it's got really nice paper in it, and I'm going to use it for my mixed media art journal kind of book. So I decided to do that for my book to repurpose. So the first thing I did was I went shopping through my stash and pulled out everything that I had that could remotely be used for mixed media. I've got some stamps, and I forgot to bring some ink up, but we won't be ready for that yet anyway. Pulled out some metal keys I had downstairs, some of these gold die cuts, some stickers, some more stamps, some steampunk paper. These are some stickers, the dazzles that come from, oh, they're hot off the press, but they come from a particular place. I can't think of it right now. I pulled out some of my inks. I got some metal book plates. I might put one of those on the front. So that's just kind of how I got started. But I also, let's see, what did I do with it? What did I do with my metal box? Because that is where, see, I was going to take all the stuff downstairs. Excuse me, I'll be right back. I think it's over here on the couch. I was going to take stuff downstairs and work downstairs, but it is just too cold down there. I can't stand to be down there even for laundry. So I went online and I found this image, and that has become my inspiration that I'm going to work around for this book. I also pulled out some napkins I might use. Definitely probably will use this for part of the background. And then I pulled out some metal from my box here that I thought I would use, and I put it all in a bag so I'd have it in one place. So I just tried to get myself a little bit organized with what I think I might want to use, because as you guys know, things evolve with me as I go. I have my inspiration that I start with, but where it goes from there is anybody's guess. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do with this book to make it a clean slate is I'm going to, I probably should have wiped it off with a baby wipe or something, but I'm going to take this heavy black gesso and I'm going to completely cover it. And I probably would use white if I wasn't doing steampunk, but since I am doing steampunk, I'm just going to use the black. And so you just want to get a good covering, and I might have to do 2 coats because it does have some lettering on it. And I'm not really worried about it being too smooth because I am going to do some texture paste on here and create some texture. I feel like I'm yelling, so I apologize if I'm really loud. So what this does is it just gives me a blank canvas to work with. And oh, I did put parchment paper underneath, and then I put parchment paper inside the cover there to protect the pages. Okay. I'm also going to do the spine because I don't want the letters that are there. I'm going to move this box because it's just hindering me at this point. Whoopsie. Yes, I just basically dropped it on the floor. Whoop. And I'm just using this larger sponge because I am covering a large area. The more intricate I want to be, the smaller the sponge I would use to apply. Alright, now I'm going to go get my heat tool, which I should have had out. This is my first craft with me, so of course I'm going to realize I don't have everything I need, but hopefully it'll only take me a minute to grab it as soon as I figure out where it is. And this is a new one. It's a Heidi swap. I have an old purple one that I've had for years that I normally use, but and this I haven't. I'm thinking this plastic cover comes off. Well, I guess it doesn't. Really? I was thinking that plastic cover on there came off, but I guess it's screwed right on there. It's a protective thing apparently. My other one just, you know, has the metal part exposed. Just got to be smart enough not to touch it, I guess. I feel like I have to hurry too because I don't have my new equipment yet. And you guys know this camera, I only have so long to record. Whoops, and that was on. So I apologize if that is loud. But you just take the heat gun and go over the gesso, and that just helps speed up the drying process. And that does stink. You don't want to get it too close to your book, because if you do, it'll make it bubble. So you want to stay out just a little bit. And you can really see it drying. I don't know if you guys can, but from where I'm at, I can see it drying. You see, I got a little bit right there because it was wet. I also got a little bit of bubbling right there. Again, I'm not so worried. Hopefully you could hear me when I was talking while that was running. I'm not really worried about it having a, ooh, that's smoking. That's weird. My other one doesn't do that. I'll have to keep an eye on that because that's, like I said, it's the first time I've used that gun. I forgot what I was saying, but anyway, it's pretty much dry, so I can go ahead and do that second coat. You don't have to have a heat gun, but it really does help the drying process. So we're just going to put a second coat on this. And I wouldn't make you guys watch me do all of this. I don't really have the ability to pause with this camera. If I stop it, that's the end of the video and it starts a new video. And I am not tech savvy enough to piece videos together to make it one. So if this is boring to you, then please fast forward until you get to a part that is a little more interesting. Okay, get that side again because the letters are still popping through there, and I don't want to see those. Although, you know, with it being my book that I'm using for an art journal, it's not as serious as it would be if I was making it for someone, and I didn't want that to show. So it's looking pretty good. So I'm going to turn this on again and dry it. And again, you can see it drying as you're doing it, so you can tell how long to keep running the dryer over it. Okay. And that is looking pretty good. So we'll go ahead and turn that off. I'm already at 12 minutes. Okay. Probably not going to get a lot done on this in the first video. I really do not like the way that smokes. That really bothers me. But anyway, I was saying we probably won't get a lot done in this first video just because it takes time for things to dry. And like I said, I can't really pause things. So the next thing I want to do is just put some texture on it just for interest. And I don't really have a stencil that is specifically steampunk, but I don't think for the texture part that really matters. I just want to add some interest to the background. So I need my texture paste. This is texture paste, and it's kind of like a thick, creamy kind of medium that will dry raised so that it gives you a little bit of texture. I need to go grab a spatula. Be right back. Not seeing the spatula that I want, of course. Well, bother. I'm not sure where the one is that I want. I know my other brushes are downstairs. So I will see what I can do with this one. I have a shorter, thicker, like it's thick here and then goes, it's not quite as long as this is what I'm saying, that I kind of like better. But, excuse me, this is what I've got, so this is what I'll use. Okay, the gun is giving me grief. Good Lord, I like my other gun better, I can tell you that right now. Of course, I'm used to it too. So I'm just going to take some of the texture paste. Sorry, I'm not showing you what I'm doing. I'm going to squeeze it out onto the palette knife. Or you could put it on the stencil too. It really doesn't matter how you do it. And I'm just going to smear that across like that. Make sure it fills in all the places that I want. Get a little bit more. You can always squeeze some out onto your paper too, or into a paint tray or something if you wanted to, but I tend to just work with what I've got in my hand. And it's alright if you get it on there like that, because that just wipes right off. I should have some wipies right here, some like baby wipes, but I don't. Hopefully I will get better as I go, be a little more prepared for you guys. Not so haphazard about it. I'm just trying to get a little bit in this corner right here. I want to get it off the top of the stencil and get it in the shape where I want it. Okay, so then you carefully peel that up, and then you have your little raised, and this is not a real thick one, it's quite a thin stencil. I'm going to do a little bit down here in this corner, like that. I think this time I will just squeeze some out onto my parchment paper. I haven't worked with this stuff in a while either, so probably not real smart of me to be filming me doing something I haven't done in a while, but oh well. It is what it is. You know, nothing goes perfect for everybody, and I appreciate seeing the full process with other people, even if they have issues or things don't go perfectly, so why not? We're just all friends hanging out, right? That's kind of how I look at it. I can be a perfectionist at times, but I think the older I get, the more I start to get over that a little bit. Of course, it depends, like I said, on who I'm doing it for. If I'm making something for someone else, I tend to be much more of a perfectionist than I would be with something of my own that I'm just going to use for my personal use. Okay, there we go. And I got a little thickness here. I'm just going to scrape that off. And a lot of this is going to be covered anyway, so it really doesn't matter. The steampunk that I'm doing is kind of also like a mixed media. And your mixed media, your first layer is never your finished layer, and oftentimes you don't really even see a lot of it. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Wow, this time is really flying by. All right, I'm going to dry this a little bit. Okay, so now I have to decide what I want my next step to be. I think what I'm going to do next, I have this napkin and I want to use this in part of my background. So I think what I will do is put that on next. And I'm just tearing it across like this. I don't want to tear my butterfly. Okay. I kind of want it, I think I kind of want it like there. I'm going to get out my image so I can kind of see where I'm going to, I think I'm going to have my image be kind of like right here. I don't want to cover up that big butterfly. Oops, of course, this is how I work. See, I got in my gesso from my brush sitting here because I'm in a tight space right now. Okay, maybe if I bring that down, bring that up. Okay, and actually what I can do is tear this off. And I could still use, I'm sorry, I can still use this little butterfly somewhere else. And let's see, I want to keep that. Let's tear this off. Okay. All right. Take that off, and I will use my Mod Podge to put that on. I wonder if I can use the back of this brush. I think I can. I don't want to get black on the, you know, where I want to put the napkin, so I just want to make sure I don't get that on there. I probably should grab a different, I should grab a different sponge, but I probably won't. And of course, I just got Mod Podge on top of the napkin, which I'm going to put it on the top. I just don't want to do it just yet. Okay, so we're going to put some Mod Podge on top of here. Stick the napkin down. Oh, a little gummy on there. It's alright if I put it where I don't need it, but it's not alright if I don't get it where I do need it. You know what I mean? Like the gummy pieces in there, but all right, so let's go ahead, see where we're at with time. Try and smooth this out. Although I'm weird, I kind of like my napkin to be a little bit wrinkled, and those textured spots will still come through the napkin too. Alright, let's see where I'm at with time. Okay, I'm getting close to the end of my time, so I will go ahead and end this video here, but the next one will just pick up right where we left off, so you guys won't miss anything. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.